everyone. I'm Jamie, and I'm terrified of public speaking, so bear with me. First, I'll just take you through what Vice is, in case anyone doesn't know. There's Vice UK, which is our website, which is kind of like the umbrella of... we've got a bunch of sites broadly, which is kind of women's issues, motherboard, tech, noisy, which is music, a load of other stuff. Vice Video, which is all our online documentaries. Viceland, which we've just launched, our TV station. And then Vice Magazine, which is where it all began. But I'm here to talk about Vice UK. There's a staff of about, I think it's 8 of us, 4 editors, 4 staff writers. We don't have an art director or a photo desk or anything, so it's kind of everyone does a bit of everything when it comes to commissioning, illustration, and photography. We got here photography. Majority of our stuff is like the magazine kind of takes up all of the kind of more portfolio stuff or projects and series, whereas the majority of the stuff we commission for online is photography to accompany articles. So that one on the left was Hannah, our staff writer, dressed up in a bunch of weird clothes and went to Fashion Week to see how easy it was to get style snapped by fashion photographers. Turns out very easy. This one on the right is a photo by Chris Bethel, who is here tonight somewhere, who's kind of one of our de facto staff photographers. He's not staff, but we work with him a couple of times a week I think it was from a May Day protest. Illustration, again, we commission a lot of original illustrations to go with articles. This one on the left is Cren Abel, who's amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen his work, but he does kind of really nice comic book style stuff. So him, Sam Taylor is another one we work with a lot, Dan Evans. It's kind of a pool of illustrators who we kind of always keep coming back to because they are essentially the Vice aesthetic. We've worked with them for so long that they are now, we kind of give them a bit of direction, kind of give them a vague brief, and then they come back to us with sketches. But it's a very collaborative process because we trust them so inherently now. But it's very much please can you do this? And they come back and it's great, and then we run it, which is a nice way to work. And then on the right is a comic. We run a few comics by kind of various artists. A lot of illustrators will just kind of send us stuff out of the blue. In fact, Pete Sharp, who's also here tonight. Hey, Pete. Send me some more comics, man. Yeah, they kind of send through stuff and we'll run it as and when, which is just nice. It's been a thing we've had in the magazine for a long time. Johnny Ryan was our kind of comic book guy, but obviously he doesn't work so much online, so we just run these whenever we can. The main thing I want to talk about today is how we work with freelance artists and photographers on themed weeks, when we pick a topic that's important to us or our readers, and then dedicate a whole week or a fortnight of videos and articles to it. This first one was Britain at Night, which was tied to the news that it was half of all of the UK's nightclubs have closed over the past decade, which was obviously important to us because we all like going out a lot, and there are fewer places to go out now. And photography, we thought we'd go heavy on photography because nightlife lends itself to photography quite well. Club photography and the like. First one I'm going to show you is Asleep Where You Danced. It's kind of self-explanatory. It was a project where our other de facto staff photographer, Jake Lewis, went to the sites of kind of old shuttered clubs. So this one was The End, in Holborn, all these clubs that were once clubs and have now been turned into often flats or sometimes shops or offices, just to see what's happened to all these iconic night spots. And yeah, this is The End in Holborn, which is now, well, when he did the project at least, it was mostly kind of Guardian scheme flats. Not sure what's going on there now. This one, Hacienda, was an iconic club, opened 1982, demolished 2002. Run by New Order and Factory Records, but yeah, closed over a decade ago and is now, like many of them, luxury flats. This one, Bagley's. which is, I think it's about to be the HQ of Jamie Oliver's sprawling sort of businesses. But yeah, when we went to visit, it was just this kind of an empty shell of what it once was. And I think photography was important here to, kind of, a lot on the site we talk about how gentrification plays a big part in closing down businesses and clubs and bars that we all like and kind of frequent, but it's hard to show that. You can write about it very easily, but you can get the message across a lot better, I think, with photos when you kind of see, when you imagine a room full of people dancing, and now this is going to be a Pret or a Jamie HQ. This was another one from that week, which was Dalston and the Dangers of a Thriving Nightlife Scene, which was Chris Bethel again. We work with him a lot. Which was about how places like Dalston, kind of property developers will build these flats and sell the area as a great place to live because it's full of fun bars and clubs and that kind of thing. But then in doing so and building these flats, they contribute to kind of rising rents, which force out all of the bars and clubs that they were selling there on in the first place. So Chris did some nice observational photography there, going places. There's no better place to be. And then this one, so illustration and design. This was a Vice Guide to Mental Health, which is obviously, mental health is a sensitive topic, and a lot of the interviewees didn't necessarily want to have their photos online. So we thought, go heavy with illustration and design, kind of a better way to communicate it. And we also worked with, we wanted to keep a kind of running theme across the whole series, just tie it all together. So we worked with a designer called Nick Scott, who does a lot of collages and photo manipulation. So these are a couple of the images from that. A couple more there. And then illustration. This one's great. It's Stan Evans, who, again, we work with a lot, which is, speaks for itself. Very good. And this article was about how stiff upper lip is killing British men. So essentially, British men aren't talking enough about their problems, which is leading to higher suicide rates, mortality rates. So the whole point of this article was to kind of spur conversation among men. So we needed it to reach those men. So they started talking about their problems. And we wanted something very striking and kind of bold to cut through people's Facebook timelines. If you're scrolling through your Facebook, which is where we get a lot of our readers coming from, and you just see a headline, it doesn't really mean anything to you, people aren't going to click. But I think this really, it was one of the most read articles of that series, and did kind of spark a lot of conversation. And I think it's kind of mostly down, it was a great article, but it is very much down to the image as well that was part of pulling people in. And then that week as well was a nice example of how we kind of, because we've got offices in various places around the world, and our US office chipped in and contributed to this. So that was a nice example of how, they commissioned, I think that's Joel Benjamin on the left, and what's the guy on the right? Andy Baker on the right. And we've worked with Joel since, so it's a nice example of our other offices commissioning work, and then we see that work, and then we can then go on and commission again. So it's kind of seeing people that you wouldn't otherwise see. In the pool of people that we work with in London is ever growing, and it helps from kind of people. We have a lot of people emailing in and pitching us ideas, and we find a lot of people through that, but it's nice to kind of broaden our horizons a bit and meet people from elsewhere, such as New York or LA or Barcelona, where we have offices, and we built a lot of great relationships through that. And I think that's it. It is it. There you go.